everyone, and welcome to another episode of Instant Mood Improver, the podcast all about songs that turn your frown upside down, put a pep in your step, and make this miserable existence just a little bit more tolerable, if only for 3 minutes. Today, we're talking to the vocalist and guitarist of the blended English post-hardcore band / metal band, Svalbard, Serena Cherry. Serena, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. Thank you for having me.
No worries whatsoever. I feel like you are going to have a really good answer to the question I'm about to ask you. You kind of just strike me as someone who likes interesting music.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, I do have pretty eclectic taste, and the song I've picked for you, for the song that is an instant mood booster every time I hear it, is a song called TMHC by the band Æther Realm.
Now, metal of the progressive vibe / power vibe is probably not something that most people would choose when it comes to being an instant mood booster, but this song, I completely get why you've chosen it. But for people who might be unfamiliar with the track, what is it about this song that makes you so damn happy?
I mean, I'd say TMHC is like the perfect example of how uplifting and joyful metal can be. I mean, you hear the keyboard intro straight away and you go, okay, this band like Children of Bodom. They are probably the most Scandinavian sounding band that aren't from Scandinavia. But yeah, as a bit of background, they are a melodeath band from North Carolina. But melodeath, I mean that in the broad sense of the term. Like there's clean singing in there as well. There's loads going on. But yeah, I picked this song because, I mean, any song that starts with the singer shouting "fuck yeah," followed by an infectious, like, catchy guitar lead is a winner in my books. Like that opener alone, you just you're smiling as soon as that kicks in. The song, the actual and the meaning of the song is like super fun as well. So TMHC stands for Tiny Metal Hand Crew, and it's like, you know, when bands kind of have that rapport with their fans, where it feels like you're like belonging to a club, and like the fans are the Tiny Metal Hand Crew, which is when you do the metal horns, but really, really small. it's so memey. But yeah, I just think that's like super fun as it is. And again, it's kind of a reference to Children of Bodom Hate Crew as well, because obviously this band love Children of Bodom, which is not a bad thing in my books either. What was really fun as well is I went to see them live recently, and like I went on my own and I got talking to a bunch of their fans at the front while we were waiting for them to come on stage, and their fans are so nice. So they genuinely, that rapport and that community that Æther Realm have with their fans is like really wholesome. It was really cool. And like the people I met at the front of that show, we've since been messaging and we're gonna like go to other shows together. Like that never happens. That never happens in the UK. No one talks to each other in the UK. So that was amazing. I've really digressed. I'm so sorry. To bring it back to the song, I mean, I'm a sucker for a really well-constructed guitar lead. The guitar leads on this song are the kind of leads I wish I could write. Like they are just so full of life. The melodies are really satisfying. The solos, again, the solos I wish I could play, but they're really sort of accomplished playing, but they serve the song as well. Some solos in other bands, it feels like, oh, it's just the guitarist showing off and it doesn't really add to the song, but that's never the case with Æther Realm. And especially in this song, I think the solo is just, again, it's another mood booster. So yeah, I love this song.
I love hearing you talk about this song, but I must also confess that I also love this song. And a certain person in a metal band from England is the person who introduced me to said song.
No way.
And I'm very thankful that they did just that, because you are correct, this is about as joyous and as uplifting as metal gets. And I think you might have touched on something when you said that they're the most Scandinavian sounding band from America ever, by virtue of the fact that I think that's why it's so damn uplifting. Like, I don't know if you spent a lot of time in the presence of American entertainers, but they're very on all the time.
Oh yes, yes. I mean, I recently came back from America. I was there a month ago, and yes, I always find just in general the American personality is very outgoing, very like vivacious, very full of life. So yeah, I'm not surprised that that kind of Americanism has crept in to meet their Scandinavian sound.
It's kind of like Thor for metal.
Yeah, yeah, it is. That's a good way of describing it.
Yeah, it's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe variation of Thor, the character, but in a metal band and a metal song. And I kind of have a vision now in my brain of a really tiny version of Thor's hand holding a really big version of the hammer.
Yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from with that. Oh my God, that's hilarious. You know what's funny as well is I saw the video for this song fairly recently, and the video is one where they got fans to send in clips of them like headbanging, dancing around, doing like fun stuff to the song, and they compiled all the footage, which is actually something we did during lockdown as well. So for our song Silent Restraint, we did the same thing. Got fans to send in a bunch of videos. Ours is a bit more serious, obviously, because the song is way more serious in tone. And I think telling of our differences in fan bases, when we asked people to send in clips, we got loads of like people with their babies and their kids. Whereas the Æther Realm fans, it's a bit more like, it's super fun. It's a super fun video to watch. But I remember watching that the other day and I was like, we did the same video. Like, we're just, when are we going to talk together? That's what I want to know.
I mean, as an Australian, I would appreciate if you decided to tour together down here, so then I can see you react to this song in person.
Oh my God, yeah. Do you know what? If we toured with Æther Realm, I'd have more of a bangover headbanging to their set than I would headbanging on stage for us.
That's one of the fun things about this concept of just talking to people about music that makes them happy, is that musicians, when you're talking to them, are the biggest nerds in the world when it comes to music, and the weirdest shit makes us happy. And this is an example of that.
My God, absolutely. Like, I think that's where it comes from. That's what drives you to be a musician, is that sheer level of like absolute nerdy passion where music consumes you, where you hear a song, whether it's pop, metal, anything like jazz, prog, and you sit there and you're like absolutely blown away thinking, how did they do that? Like that, it affects your head and your heart. And not many art forms do that at the same time so powerfully. So I think that's where that comes from, for me at least.
It does. Now, the first time you listened to this song, did it instantly improve your mood? Like, did you know this was the song for you?
Oh, absolutely. It was literally the minute I heard the keyboard intro, I was like, oh, hello, here we go. I could feel the smile creeping up on my face. Like, and then when like I say, that first guitar lead, as soon as that kicked in, I was like, yeah. I tell you what's great as well. If you listen to this at the gym, just as you like about 20 minutes into a run, when you know the endorphins are going to kick in, and then you stick this song on, it's placed I think at 22 minutes on my gym playlist, because you get the endorphin rush from the exercise and the amazing uplifting song. It's a really good combination.
I can picture that as well. This is great. This is the most visual episode of this podcast ever, in terms of me just enjoying the visuals I've been provided by your descriptions. Now, let's flip the script a little bit. I'm going to ask you if anyone's ever told you that a Svalbard song is their instant mood improver. Have people said that your music makes them happy?
We get a lot of people saying that our music helps us, specifically like my lyrics and stuff. So most shows we play, people will talk to me at the merch afterwards and say that our songs got them through a dark time or helped them dealing with stuff that they were going through. So that tends to be the way our music connects with our fans. I think because musically we're quite bleak. So I guess it would be weird for it to be described as a mood booster. So yeah, but then I think the guitar leads, like my guitar leads are basically based on Disney and Final Fantasy and really like pretty uplifting things. So I guess I need to make that shine through a bit more the next album.
Maybe the secret is to not listen to your voice and just listen to the instrumentals.
You know what? If I could give anyone any word of advice for my entire existence, it would be don't listen to my voice. Just listen to what I play on guitar. Don't listen to the daft stuff I say.
Now, for anyone listening to this right now who for some reason aren't familiar with who Svalbard are, hearing Serena describe herself like this is doing her a great disservice. This is most definitely one of the more accomplished vocalists and musicians going around the British metal scene at the moment. And the most recent record, The Weight of the Mask, is brilliant, but it is most definitely not uplifting.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you, by the way. I really appreciate your kind words. And it's The Weight of the Mask. I mean, I think the title kind of says it all. It's a heavy album, and heavy emotionally and musically as well. So probably not going to be the most uplifting of listens.
But has people's response to the record, which has been overwhelmingly positive, been uplifting for you?
Oh my God, absolutely. Like it's been crazy seeing the response to this album. It's been more than I ever could have even hoped for. Like you always feel nervous just before releasing an album that you've worked for so many years on. Like there's always this trepidation. Are people actually going to like it? And because we have got some different things on this album as well, I was really, I didn't know what to expect for the reaction, and I've been absolutely blown away. I remember that release day, my phone kept crashing because I was just getting so many messages and seeing all these amazing like posts and stuff about it, which was really, really heartwarming. It was incredible.
And my understanding is this is the first time you've worked with Nuclear Blast on a record. That must be really cool for somebody who eats, breathes, sleeps, probably doesn't sleep, metal the way that you do.
Oh my God, yes. So like all my favorite bands are on Nuclear Blast. So to see our name amongst those, amongst like Nightwish and Avantasia and Symphony X, my three favorite bands, like that is just unreal. I mean, all my favorite records have the Nuclear Blast logo on them. So to be able to release a record on this label has been it's been like a dream come true, really.
Pretty fucking cool. Like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lie. And it's my podcast, I can swear if I want to. So it's pretty cool. But another thing that people may not be familiar with you, but I am, because we had this conversation recently, is that metal and the discovery of metal has played quite a large role in happiness in your life, and in you feeling at one with yourself and accepted. Can you remember the feeling you got the first time you discovered that music had that influence on you as a person?
Oh, I remember, I remember when I first discovered new metal and was getting into bands like Fear Factory and Slipknot and feeling, it's almost like when I'd liken it to like discovering a new video game that draws you into a whole nother world. That's what it felt like. It felt like it wasn't just some music on in the background. I felt like I was being sort of pulled into this other world where it was okay to express yourself. It was healthy to scream and to show, your passion and your emotion and stuff like that. And it was, okay to be creative. This is a really specific story, but I was always a bit weird as a kid. I was like obsessed with pop music, obsessed with like interesting visuals, that kind of thing. And I remember I found this like blue lipstick when I was like a kid, like 10 years old, and I thought it was so cool because it made me look like an alien. And I wore it to the school disco, and everyone took the piss out of me. Like, I remember crying in the toilets because I was like, oh, but I thought I looked cool, like a cool alien. And apparently not. I looked like a weirdo. And then when you see, to link this back, when you see pictures of bands like Coal Chamber or Slipknot, and you see them dressed in these really fun, creative, a little bit dark and experimental ways, I think, again, I connected with that because I was like, oh, these people aren't afraid to look a bit different as well, and want to kind of be more creative and not just follow the herd when it comes to image and music and everything. So that definitely, I mean, discovering new metal, it felt like a sanctuary for me in my early teens, for sure.
That's
Sorry for
awesome.
the weird.
Weird tangents are my favorite thing. That's what this medium was invented for. And the brilliant thing is we're not like a network TV scenario, so we don't have to worry about length. So ramble all you want. But one thing that I've always found works for me in terms of inspiring joy in music is particularly the live environment and seeing other human beings interact with the music that I'm seeing live in the same way that I am emotionally, despite the fact that we don't know each other. Like, that thrill is the most, I don't know, it's my version of church, I guess, would be how I'd describe it. Do you feel that?
Yeah, that's where the magic is that shared communal experience. If we want to get sociological, I'm really sorry, this is what my degree is in. There's a concept called civil religions, which would describe sort of going to a football match if you're a really big football fan, going to a show if you're a really big music fan, and sharing that experience and the rituals that go with that, the singing along, the moshing, the, you know, wearing of a football shirt if you're going to a football show, a football match. And it describes that as like a religious type experience. So when you say it's like going to church, I totally see where you're coming from with that, and that is a sociological thing. But yeah, to answer your question, that's where the magic is. Like, that's exactly what I'm referring to when I say I went to see Æther Realm and I made a load of friends down the front, and everyone was loving that show. Like, everyone around me was headbanging, circle pitting, having a great time, throwing up their tiny metal horns. Like, it was such a good vibe. And that communal experience is, again, it's one of the most uplifting things about being a music fan.
I agree wholeheartedly, obviously. It really is quite enjoyable. Now, you did mention going to see Æther Realm and enjoying yourself immensely. Is there anything else about the song you've chosen that you think people should know that would encourage them to check it out? And I've got to say, the album it comes off is brilliant as well.
Oh yeah, Redneck Cowboys from Hell. I mean, that is the best album title of all time. But yes, I mean, I feel like I've covered most things. I guess how I would convince people to listen to it would be by telling them that it's a really accomplished song in terms of how it's written and constructed. If you're into guitar leads, this is going to blow you away. If you're into like real kind of well-crafted solos and phrasing, this is going to blow you away. And if you're not into the kind of more technical side, it's just a super fun, joyful metal song, which will definitely make you smile.
What a banger, and what an instant mood improver. It's been really, really fun talking to you, Serena. I now have a new favorite Scandinavian metal band from America. And I also have a new favorite. I shouldn't say favorite. It's not nice to play favorites, but I have a new favorite guest.
Oh, no way. Thank you so much.
Yeah, take that, Frank Turner.
Oh, thank you. It's been so much fun talking to you. A really, really nice time.
Indeed. And if anyone hasn't yet checked it out, The Weight of the Mask is out now on Nuclear Blast Records. Go check it out. It's awesome. I'll give it infinity TMHCs out of number of TMHCs. Yesterday I gave something 5 trombones with a flashlight out of trombones with a flashlight.
Oh my God, what were you reviewing?
A theatre show of my friends all about his beloved Ukrainian grandmother. And that was a splendid one-man show. I hope he gets over to the UK and does Fringe or something. His name is Joshua Ladgrove. The show is called Baba.
Well, I've been to the Fringe Festival a couple of times before, so hopefully if he does come over, I'll definitely keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, look, I made this joke to him last night, but Fringe Festival sounds like an emo fest.
Yeah. Oh my God, it really does.
Like it makes you think that like I should just do this. And now we can play.
That's what they should have called that when we were young fest. They should have just called it Fringe Fest.
Yeah, it should have actual Fringe Fest.
Or in the US, Bangs.
Yeah, Bangs Fest.
That's what they call them, isn't it?
Go have a cup of tea or whatever the fuck it is you do in England. I will continue drinking this ginger tea out of a Pikachu mug.
No way, I've got ginger tea at the moment.
Hey!
In a Hello Kitty Pasheen
Hello
mug.
Kitty and Pikachu. Kindred spirits. Kindred eternal spirits.
Ah.
Aha. No, it's because we're both vocalists. Anyway, I'll see you around. Bye.
Bye.